Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Ben Parks here, 225 marathoner, and we've got loads of spring races coming up very soon, or maybe you're watching this later in the year and so you've got autumn races. Who knows? There's always loads of races going on, so I thought I'd have a deep dive, have a think back to what I really wish I knew when I was about 18 years old, when I did my first ever London Marathon in 4 hours and 3 minutes. Cue the awkward picture on the screen now. So these are my top tips to get you that race day experience that you deserve. We're going to split this video up into 3 different sections: before, during and after. So feel free to move your mouse around. Right, let's get this video done. So one of the most famous age-old things in all of running is never trying anything new on race day. So don't go and buy a brand new pair of shoes, don't go get some new gels that you've never used in your training, and certainly don't go and have a brand new breakfast that you've ever had. They're the 3 classic ones to avoid. So the best pair of shoes to wear on race day are the ones that you've been training in, the most comfortable ones. The best gels to be taking out there are the ones that you've been using on your long runs, and the best breakfast to have is the one you have been having before your long runs as well. For me, I like to have bagels with a bit of peanut butter and jam. That sets me up really nicely for the race. With the last 3 or 4 weeks before your big race day, you've got to practice in the kit you're going to be wearing. So the singlet, the top, whatever your shorts, make sure there's no chafing going on. Practice in your race day shoes as well. The socks you're going to be wearing, the hat you're going to be wearing, most importantly. If you want one, check out benparks.com. We make the best running hats and also race day singlets anywhere in the world, so check those out. Just make sure it's all working together really nicely for you. Secondly, really important to research the course. Where does it start? Where does it go? How are you going to get to the start? And then given those locations, how are you going to get to the start in the morning? Is it worth doing a bit of a dress rehearsal from your hotel or wherever you're staying to the start line? So when it comes to race day, you want to keep those nerves as low as possible, and you're just going through that routine you've already done a few days before. Really good idea to put the name on the front of your singlet, maybe even write it onto your number, or get some iron-on patches that you can put to spell out your name on the front. People in the crowd will see that name and they'll shout and scream as you go past. Really good for that added motivation when it will get a little bit tough towards the end of the race. Make sure you're packing some extra clothing for the start line, just something like a throwaway hoodie, sweatshirt, a poncho, a bit of a foil blanket you may have been given before. A lot of this clothing will end up being given to charities after the race anyway, so it will be recycled. It could potentially be pretty cold on the start line, so you just want to keep yourself nice and warm for as long as possible, and then 2 minutes to go, strip it off and you'll be good to go. You really don't want to be forgetting anything on your race day. So on the website we have a downloadable PDF. It's completely free and it's just a big reminder checklist of everything you're going to be taking. And about sort of 2 to 1 week before your race, just get this out. Make sure you're ordering anything that you've already been using in your training, but you might be running a little bit low on, and you've got nothing to worry about. You don't want to have mad panic in the last few days before your race. Now, it can be quite tempting if you've got friends and family coming out to support you on the course to give them some drinks and some snacks or whatever nutrition you're using. I really would recommend not doing that. It can be incredibly hard to spot people in the crowd as you go around, especially in some of the big marathon majors out there. Make sure you've got all your gels on you. If you're taking a hydration vest, you've got some drinks to get you going and around the course. Of course, there'll be more supplies out there for you as well. But yeah, just really would recommend not relying on spectators. They can have their signs and cheer as you go past, but nutrition, make sure you're going to be self-sufficient. Now, when you do get to the start, I really would recommend getting into the line for the portaloo or porta potty straight away, and also bring with you a spare toilet roll as well, because they always run out and you don't want to be caught short. And following on from that is nerves are completely normal. You're going to be probably going to the loo a little bit more regularly on that morning of the race. It's just that body's natural response. So your breakfast might not feel like it's quite sitting right in the days leading up to the race. You might not be sleeping like you normally do. It's just nerves. It's because it means something to you. It's really important. And finally, for before the race, is when you get to the starting area, then just act like you're going to go for a run. Lock on your GPS as soon as you get there, and then you can sort of lock it off again. So don't actually go for your run straight away, but it just makes sure the watch knows roughly where you are and the satellites all know roughly where you are. And then with about sort of 6-7 minutes to go before the start, then you can just lock it on. It might take a little bit longer given the amount of people there. By the time it gets to the start line, you can have a nice solid GPS lock ready to go, and that's where we move on to chatting all about during the race. So it's an absolute classic for people to go tearing off at the start line, because I felt really good, so I went off at this ridiculous pace and then blew up at the end. We've all done it over the years, myself included. So it's really important to try and give yourself a nice even pacing goal throughout the race. So if you want to say break 3:30 for the marathon, that means going out at 8-minute miles or at 5-minute Ks. If you're going along and it's saying 4:30 Ks, or suddenly you're doing 7:30s, slow down. Of course you're going to feel good. You've done a load of training. You're not suddenly going to be miraculously going out there and running a sub 3-hour marathon. It doesn't happen. But people do. There'll be loads of people going past you, but please don't get caught up with it. Trust your watch or whatever pacing guidance you're using. Going with a pace group. And the first bit of the race is going to hopefully feel quite easy because you're going at a nice relaxed marathon pace. A lot of people say the real race starts at about 20 miles, about 32k in. That's really about your halfway point in terms of effort. That last 10k, that last 6 miles is difficult. I can't sit here and lie and say it's going to be okay. It's going to be hard, but don't worry. That's what makes the marathon so special, because you get through that, you get to the finish line, it feels amazing, and that's what marathon running is all about. And I know you're going to have an amazing race day experience out there when you do cross that line. It's a really good idea to set your goals. I really would say for everyone just to have your C goal, your ABC goals. Your C goal is just to finish the race. That is still an incredible achievement for so many people, to get out there and finish a marathon. Your B goal can be a time that maybe you're not that happy with, and your A goal may be your dream marathon time. However you set your goals, it might be just to finish, it might be to go out and have a fun time, it might be to go and explore a new city. They don't always have to be time orientated goals. You can just have an amazing experience, and that is what your A goal is all about. You've got to set them. It gives you a bit of added motivation as you go around. Now, as I said, that last sort of 6 miles, that last 10k is hard, and it's really good to remember your mantra, remember your why are you doing this. For a lot of people at London Marathon, they'll be raising money for charity. You can maybe write some messages on your hand or something just to look down and give you that bit of extra motivation. If you are taking your phone with you, maybe some photos on there that you can have a look at if times do get really tough. And finally, my tip for during the race is the water stops, the sort of aid stations out there. They can be quite chaotic, especially if you're around that sort of average sort of thing, around about 4 hours. And what most people do is they just dive into the first person they see. But these water stops, especially at the bigger races, they go on for quite a long time. So don't feel the need to dive in straight away. You go on a little bit further, and it should be a lot quieter a little bit further up. If you do miss one, there'll be another one along very, very soon. With all things drinking and hydration, just drink to thirst. If you're thirsty, take something. If you want to have a walk through a water station, a strategy I've done in a lot of my early marathons as well that work quite well. Just walk the water stations, have a little breather, and then get back running again. And then after the race, the hard work is done. You've crossed the finish line. You've got your medal. It feels amazing. Well, then reality sets in of really what you've put your body through. You are going to be feeling pretty sore. Maybe not straight away, but in a few days after, you're going to be very sore. Please don't feel the need to go out for another run, probably for that first week. You just need to relax. Walking is particularly good in this time. Just keeps that blood flowing, going around your legs, and just stops you stiffening up. If you have an office job, don't sit down all day. Just lots of basic things that standing up and walking around is really good. Wear your medal with pride. Let everybody know how amazing you have been in running that marathon. And also thank everybody that might have sponsored you for your race as well. Now, post-marathon blues are a real, very much thing. This is when you've had something in your life, maybe for the last 16, 18 weeks, just taking over your life, and now it's gone. And you've got this big empty void in your life. But don't rush out. You really will want to go and book another race straight away. But I'd say just take a week, have a think about it, and find your next challenge. And in this time, catch up with some of your old friends that you might not have seen, and maybe some other hobbies, and just have a bit of a break from running for maybe that 1 to 2 weeks after the race. So that's it, guys. Have an amazing time out there with your race. As always, the most important thing is just to have fun. Remember, it's just a hobby. Please don't try and take it too seriously. It's just running. I'm sure loads of your friends and family will just want to see you get around safe and well and enjoy the experience. And that is what it's all about. Please check out the website, benparks.com. We've got, as I said, we've got running hats, singlets, and some casual tees in there, and hoodies and all sorts of stuff that help support the channel. We couldn't do this without your support. Give the video a like and let us know your top tips down below as well. Take a quick moment to realize just how amazing you are running a marathon, and see how far you've come over the last, as I say, sort of 15 weeks, how you've developed as an individual, got all this fitness and everything you've been through. You're in for an amazing time. So lots of luck out there, guys. Let us know how you get on in your race as well. Be sure to come back and have a chat and let us know. That's it. We'll see you very soon in the next one.